two pretty different games recently. What were the main takeaways for you, do you think?
Yeah, two really difficult games against Adelaide and Wellington, and two contrasting games. I thought we were excellent against Adelaide for long periods of the game. I thought it was a fantastic team performance, and it was free flowing. We created a lot of chances, and there was some fantastic goals scored. In contrast to Wellington, where it wasn't as action-packed in the penalty areas, but some fantastic football played. And I say that because it was a real tactical game. I thought it was two good teams coming up against each other, two teams who'd done their homework on each other, and who really locked horns and probably cancelled each other out.
If you were to change anything and have the game against Wellington again, is there anything in particular you would change?
Yeah, I'd have probably screamed a little bit more for the penalty shout. That's what I've done, because I look back on that and I think it was a really, really big call for a penalty. So yeah, I would have probably remonstrated a little bit more on that. Yeah, looking back on it, I probably thought we could have done a few things a little bit differently as regards to our setup and our shape, getting into our 10 positions a little bit more, which is what we've been accustomed to. But again, listen, you can do that in hindsight, but you're up against a really, really good team. A really good team with a really good structure and a good defensive unit as well. So, listen, I think we created opportunities for us to attack the goal. We probably just lacked that individual brilliance in the box, which we had against Adelaide, and we didn't really have that against Wellington. But we certainly created opportunities for those moments, but we just didn't kind of pull them off.
So any of those changes, you're going to take that to Sydney, against Sydney this weekend?
Yeah, I think with the personnel we have available is going to allow that for us to get back to our preferred structure. Even though we weren't massively away from it, but I think it'll allow us to get more back to our game, and you'll see kind of more of the stuff as regards to creating chances and goal mouth action in the Sydney game, hopefully.
I think when you first came in, and being a Premier League defender yourself, I think you wanted to get the house in order defensively. I think the numbers is at 3 in a row now, clean sheets. Where do you feel like we're at? It's a work in progress, obviously, but you must be delighted defensively. Yeah,
it's something we when we come over, we realised what the league was, and there was a lot of transitions in the league. It was teams were very transitional, and we suffered a lot from counter attacks and getting our rest defence right. So we've worked a lot on that in the time I've been at the club, and the staff have worked fantastically, and the players have really bought into it and taken on board the information. So that's made us more secure at the back. We know that if we can have that foundation of clean sheets, we'll be a team who creates opportunities to score, and that's what we try every game. That mentality gives us a foundation to go forward and try and attack teams.
He was far too humble. Young fella was just here, Josh Nisbet. I think it's the first time in about 3 years that we've had a player is the player of the month in the A-League, Josh Nisbet. And a lot of the changes you've put in place and the coaching staff have put in place, where he's moved further forward, but sometimes he comes and sits further back. But what a season he's having. Yeah,
he's performing exceptionally. We're really pleased with how he's developing. Like I say, with the team, he's got more to come. He has got more to come, we know that, but we're really pleased with what he's doing, and it doesn't surprise me that he's stood in front of you guys and being humble about it, because he's a real team player. He works for the team. Everything is about the team for Nizzy, and that's a culture we have at the club. So it's great for him to receive that recognition, because I think it's voted by the players as well, his peers, which is even more impressive. So yeah, we're really pleased for him, and obviously we congratulated him in the team meeting yesterday, because he deserves that round of applause from us as well.
Every Mariners fan, everyone on the Central Coast, they circle 2 games at the start of the year. It's always the Jets, but it's also Sydney FC. Massive budget, big glamour club, and it's like, Big Brother. And there's no team that I think we enjoy taking down more from a Mariners perspective than Sydney FC. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean it's a real strange scenario, because we've not played them yet this season. We've played some teams twice and been around there already, and we've not even played Sydney. So, and that was the same with Wellington as well. We've looked into them. We know they can be dangerous like any other team, but you know, when games come around like that, what excites supporters, you know, hopefully that, you know, they'll get behind the team like they have been doing all season, and they'll create a really strong and, let's say, hostile atmosphere. I hope they do, because you know, it's always good for us to have our fans behind us and creating that atmosphere for when the opposition come to our ground. So listen, I'm hoping for a great atmosphere tomorrow. I'm hoping for a great game, and if we get things right and we perform to the levels we know we can, we know we're a match for anybody.
Who are the biggest threats, do you think, for the Sydney side?
They've got a few threats. Obviously, they've got the experience. Joe Lolly, we see that there, and I think he's top of their goal scoring charts as well. But they play a certain way where they can be dangerous. So collectively as a team, they can be a threat. We know that. But you know, like you say, you've got Joe Lolly there, who's got high level experience, and I think he's been firing this season as well. So we'll have to be mindful of that. But like I always say, we always concentrate on what we do for the majority of things. A small percentage is the opposition, of course, but we know that if we can be consistent and play our game and execute that well, we know, you know, teams are going to be in for a game against us.
You guys are in form lately. Do you feel like you're going to have an extra edge playing at home?
We always have the edge playing at home. I think you know, teams come to our place, and like I said, the crowd play a massive part in that. You know, it's a double header as well with the women, so you know, there's going to be massive support there for the club. So that obviously puts pressure on the opposition as well. But we like to think that when teams come and visit our ground, we start on the front foot, and we can really impose ourselves on them. So that's what we'll try and do against Sydney.
Are you feeling really confident?
As much as I do in any of the game, you know, we feel prepared. That's all we can do. It's been a real challenge for us with the travel and coming back and recovering the lads. But like I said, we've got a great group of staff who know how to handle these situations, know how to recover the boys, so they're full of energy and ready to go. So after the training session today we'll feel fully prepared, and as long as we feel ready, then we'll go into any game confident.
And how's Edmondson settling in?
He's settling really well. I've just had a conversation with him there in the office. I can do with any new players coming in, making sure they're settling and everything's okay. I think he's impacted the team well. He's got high expectations of himself all the time, so I have to calm them down a little bit because I don't want him to get frustrated. He expects himself to score every time he plays, and that's right, but the contribution he's made to the team over the past 2 games has been pleasing.
And the AFC Cup match is coming up too. How are you guys feeling about that one?
Game by game, so Sydney's first, but obviously we've got a slight eye on the AFC Cup game. It's another exciting game for us and another challenge for us to progress in a prestigious competition. That was a target at the start of the year, was to you know, progress from the group stages. We managed to be successful in that. Now it's, can we go as far as we can in this cup, and that's a challenge of the players. With that becomes, you know, we're playing against opposition who we don't know too much about, but we'll do our research and we'll, like I said about the Sydney game, make sure we're fully prepared when we go into Tuesday's match.